CBS, Young and the Restless, spoilers. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today is a pretty wild Tuesday, and the sun is shining, but my brain is just entirely consumed by the absolute madness happening in Genoa City right now. We have so much to unpack today, so grab your coffee and let's just dive right into this mess, because I have a lot of feelings to get off my chest. So let's just get right into it, because honestly, I have been staring at my screen for hours trying to process the absolute state of Genoa City right now. And it is a mess, a complete and total mess. Patty Williams and Dr. Lawrence Markham are currently running around town wreaking absolute havoc, and it feels like nobody is doing anything about it. I mean, first they had Diane Jenkins Abbott locked up in some creepy barred room, with Markham gaslighting her into thinking she had a mental breakdown, and Patty was using that to blackmail Jack for sex, which is just gross. But then, as if that wasn't insane enough, they completely escalated things. They found out Ashley Abbott was forced to come back from Paris, and they decided to hit her where it hurts the most. They actually kidnapped Abby and little baby Dominic. Just let that sink in for a second. They kidnapped a baby, and a Newman Abbott heiress, and Ashley is just losing her mind. She is absolutely feral right now, and who can blame her? She gets this terrifying photo of her daughter and grandson in captivity, and she is having a primal breakdown. She wants revenge. She wants them dead. And honestly, I am completely on Ashley's side here. But what is actually being done to stop these two lunatics? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Because the Genoa City Police Department is currently being run by people who couldn't find their way out of a paper bag. Which brings me to my next point. Detective Burrow. Let's be real here, you guys. Detective Burrow is a complete and utter fool. I don't know who hired this guy, but he has zero instincts. A few episodes ago, Jack is panicking about Diane being missing, and Burrow just shows up at the Abbott mansion and basically asks, "Hey, do you think she just walked away? Are you kidding me?" Jack is telling him that Patty is involved. Tracy is literally catching Patty handing over envelopes of cash to sketchy doctors in the park, and Burrow is just standing there looking like a deer in headlights. He has no presence. He has no authority. He is not a real cop. It is just so frustrating to watch. The fans on social media have been screaming about this for weeks. We are all just sitting here watching Burrow fumble the most obvious clues in the world, while Patty and Markham are literally hoarding hostages like they're collecting trading cards. It's ridiculous. The town is drowning in crime, and we have a detective who probably needs a map to find the police station every morning. But wait, because there is a rumor going around, and this rumor is so good, so incredibly satisfying, that I almost didn't want to believe it at first. But the more I think about it, the more it makes perfect sense. There is a lot of extremely credible buzz right now that Paul Williams is coming back. Yes, Paul Williams, the former police chief, the absolute legend of Genoa City. And honestly, it is about damn time. We all know the behind-the-scenes drama that has been going on for years. The old writer who essentially pushed Paul off the canvas has finally left. That old regime is gone. All the bad blood, all the backstage grudges, all the weird politics that kept Doug Davidson off our screens, it's all been dropped. The new team clearly realizes that you cannot have Genoa City without Paul Williams, especially not when the GCPD is currently a laughingstock and his own sister is the one terrorizing the town. So the idea is that Paul is returning and he is going to be the one to finally take down Patty and Markham. And I am just typing this as fast as I can because I am so hyped about this concept. What do I think of this idea? I think it is the single greatest writing decision this show has made in a decade. Think about the history here. Think about the emotional weight. Paul is Patty's brother. He has spent his entire life trying to protect her, trying to get her help, trying to save her from her own twisted mind. When she shot Victor, when she swapped faces with Emily Peterson, when she poisoned Summer Newman, Paul was always the one caught in the middle. He loves his sister, but he is also a cop, a real cop, not like Burrow. So picture this. Just imagine the scene. Burrow is standing in the GCPD, scratching his head, looking at a corkboard with a single piece of string on it, completely clueless about where Abby and Dominic are. And suddenly, the doors swing open, and it's Paul. He walks in, takes one look at Burrow's messy desk, and just tells him to step aside. Actually, no, he probably tells him to get out of the building. Paul takes his jacket off, rolls up his sleeves, and looks at the file, because Paul knows Patty better than anyone else in the world. He knows how she thinks. He knows where she hides. He knows her twisted, delusional logic. And Paul realizes that Patty has crossed a line that she can never, ever come back from. You can mess with Jack. You can mess with Diane. But you do not kidnap a baby. You do not take Dominic. So Paul tracks them down. He doesn't need a week. He doesn't need to ask stupid questions. He just uses good old-fashioned police work. He figures out where Markham and Patty are keeping Abby and Dominic, and he goes there himself. I am literally getting chills just thinking about how this scene is going to play out, because it's not just an arrest. It's a tragedy. Paul kicks the door down. Markham is standing there, probably trying to use his creepy, calm doctor voice, trying to manipulate the situation, and Paul just isn't having it. Paul grabs Markham, slams him against the wall, and slaps the cuffs on him so hard the guy's wrists will be bruised for a month. Markham is done. His little reign of terror is over. But then Paul turns around, and there is Patty, and this is where the acting is just going to be phenomenal, because Patty is going to look at her big brother, and she's going to realize that it's over. She can't manipulate Paul. She can't bat her eyelashes and play the victim this time. She took a child, and Paul is just looking at her, and his heart is breaking, because this is his flesh and blood. This is the little sister he always tried to save, but he can't save her anymore. So Paul walks up to her, and he doesn't yell. He doesn't scream. He just looks at her with tears in his eyes, and he pulls out his handcuffs. And he tells her, "I love you, Patty, but you're going away for a very long time." He cuffs his own sister. He arrests her. He reads her rights. And he walks her out to the squad car himself. I mean, wow. Just wow. That is television. That is soap opera gold. It ties up so many loose ends, and it gives us the emotional payoff we have been starving for. It's not just some random cop making an arrest. It's family. It's betrayal. It's justice. And then, of course, we get the aftermath. Paul rescues Abby and Dominic. He brings them back to Ashley. And Ashley, who has been completely feral and broken this entire time, just collapses into tears when she gets her family back, the relief on her face, the gratitude she is going to have for Paul. Remember, Paul and Ashley have a lot of history too. They have always had a deep mutual respect. Seeing Paul hand Dominic back to Ashley is going to be one of those classic Y&R moments that they play in flashback reels for the next 20 years. And Jack, oh my God, Jack's reaction. Jack has been getting blackmailed by Patty for sex just to find Diane. He has been living in an absolute nightmare. When he finds out that Paul is back, and that Paul is the one who locked Patty up and saved everybody, Jack is going to owe Paul his life. The Abbott family and the Williams family have always been intertwined, and this just solidifies that bond forever. Honestly, I'm probably rambling a bit here, but I just can't get over how perfect this is. Sometimes I second-guess myself and think maybe I'm putting too much faith in the writers. Maybe they'll just have Burrow accidentally stumble upon the kidnappers while he's looking for a donut shop. Okay, that sounds harsh, but you get what I mean. We have been burned before. We have seen great storylines fizzle out into nothing. But this feels different. The fact that the old writer is gone and the grudges are dropped changes the whole landscape. It means the show is finally willing to look back at its own history and respect the legacy character. Paul Williams is the Genoa City Police Department. You can't just replace him with some generic guy in a suit who doesn't know how to do police work. The fans know the difference. We can feel the difference. And let's talk about Markham for a second. Throwing him in jail is exactly what he deserves. I still have this lingering suspicion that Markham might actually be Martin Laurent with a surgically altered face, especially since Patty has a history of doing that exact same thing with Emily Peterson. If Markham is modern, then him going to prison is going to be a huge relief for Sharon and Phyllis, who have been terrified of him. But even if he's just a regular corrupt doctor, seeing Paul take him down is going to be so satisfying. Markham thought he was the smartest guy in the room. He thought he could just buy off the cops and do whatever he wanted. He didn't plan on Paul Williams. So yeah, I am all in on this idea. I think bringing Paul back to arrest his own sister is a masterstroke. It gives Doug Davidson the incredible, meaty storyline he deserves for his return. It gets rid of the absolute joke that is Detective Burrow. It saves the Abbott family. And it finally puts an end to Patty's madness in a way that feels earned and emotional rather than just random. I've been covering this show for a while now, and there are days when I am just so tired of the repetitive storylines and the characters acting out of character. I really am. Sometimes I sit here typing these recaps and I wonder why I still care so much. But then a rumor like this drops, an idea this good comes along, and I am right back in it. I am hooked, because when this show gets it right, when it leans into its history and its core families, there is nothing better on television. So what do you guys think? Are you as hyped as I am for Paul's return? Do you think he's really going to be the one to slap the cuffs on Patty? And please, for the love of God, tell me you agree that Detective Burrow needs to be fired immediately. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's vent about this together, because I am going to be obsessing over this until it actually happens on screen.